Hey guys, Smitty here. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back. We are back in Valheim, back in our build series. And today we're going to continue to develop our island fishing community. So today what I want to do is kind of develop this dockhouse neighborhood that I've started. So I experimented with a couple designs here just as a kind of proof of concept. Kind of get the flow and the look I wanted and kind of style for this neighborhood. But I have a couple of lots left to develop, so we're going to develop a house here and here to kind of square off this neighborhood. So that's on the agenda today, but without further ado, grab a snack, grab a drink. Let's get right into it. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we will develop 2 more small dock houses for this neighborhood, but just to give a closer look at what I've done so far. So I've done a couple of just smaller dock house designs. And like I said, it was more of just like a proof of concept to kind of figure out the style I wanted. And I wanted to just create, again, just like mini homes, right? So this is kind of like a ramshackle style. It's nothing super fancy, but I think this is the kind of story I want to tell for this neighborhood, that maybe it's kind of like the lower class neighborhood. The homes are a little bit more crowded. And yeah, again, more like bare bones. Not a lot of symmetry. Definitely a different style. It's not super grand or anything like that. I almost considered maybe whether or not to actually show building some of these buildings, just because they're not super epic or anything like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think building is more than just building big epic structures. It's about the storytelling, right? And I think I've always maintained that, and I think this little area is going to have its own sense of charm with some of these mini homes, even if they're not super grand or anything like that. So wanted to include you guys into this process. We'll build a couple other here, and then we can just kind of get right into this one. The one thing I want to make sure with all these buildings is that they all look just different and vary just in terms of height and composition. Like it looks a little bit random, right? I do like that. So the feel for this neighborhood was kind of like if any of you guys have seen The Hobbit, kind of like a lake town feel. Obviously on a much smaller scale, but obviously Lake Town is kind of like that dock house and like that like dock community. So we'll try to stick to that style. Maybe a portion of this will remain up high. Or maybe not. I don't know. So, I think with these houses, I want to make the leveling on them a little bit dynamic, to where it's not just one level. Like, there's going to be some stairs on some higher levels and then some lower levels. I think that'll just make it look a little bit more interesting. And again, so yeah, let's try to get some of the structure in here now. So the difficulty with this too is that I had some of the plots outlined, but I don't have a super clear idea of what these are ultimately going to look like. Like it's going to be kind of improvisational, and we'll just kind of play around with it, and I think that kind of helps achieve the kind of randomness that we're going for with some of these structures. Like, we just kind of add on different platforms and elements, and I think that leads to maybe a little bit more like interesting and random look for this kind of ramshackle community. So actually, maybe we get rid of this. Maybe this part of the structure will start here. I think that'll work. I wonder, could we just flatten like that? Will that give us enough? I think it might. Okay, so that could work for there. You know what? Let's keep this kind of pointed. I think all of our houses kind of have that 45-degree point, so we don't want to round it. I think that kind of breaks with some of the style that we've developed for some of these homes. So maybe something like that. And on this side, so yeah, what if we created some asymmetry here where we have some of the 26-degree beams starting there, and then on this side, because we have the higher floors, it starts a little higher. Let's try that. I mean, I think that's kind of just part of what we're going for on this build. It's just, again, a little bit more randomness, a little bit more asymmetry. I think that's just more of a style here for houses in this district. So maybe that'll only go there. Okay, interesting. So it's definitely asymmetrical. So one issue I do have is that this side seems super flat. Like, we see how this entire face just has no depth. We have to try to break that up some way, so maybe we extend out a little bit like this. Gotta make it look supported. Okay, so I think that looks a little bit more interesting just in terms of composition. See how it kind of like breaks up that face and then it's not flat anymore, so I think that works a little bit better. Okay, so let's get some of our thatch roof. And again, I chose thatch for these homes just because obviously if we're going for a more ramshackle look, thatch is the natural choice. You know, it's kind of funny because like I obviously do all kinds of different types of builds. Some are massive, some are much smaller, but to be honest, I love the concept of like mini builds. I just love like just creating like cozy, like tiny little cozy like mini homes. Like it just, I don't know why, but it's just like one of my favorite things to do. Like obviously this doesn't actually look the best or anything, but I just find it so much fun, and then just like making a community of little mini homes. So yeah, I know it might not be everyone's bag, but hopefully some of you share my passion. And so maybe from here we can also, yeah, actually why don't we do that? So we'll create another roof segment that just kind of goes off of here. Kind of covers this front section there, so yeah, it definitely looks looks kind of wonky. We've gone to like the other extreme. Like we did a super symmetrical, nice, fancy home here up on the hill. Now we're going with like very asymmetrical, kind of wonky ramshackle houses down here. So we'll put in a couple doors. A window in the middle there. Honestly, there's no real point on having these blocked. You can just loop around like that. So maybe let's add another layer to the trim here, just to give it a little more depth, to give it a little more overhang so it doesn't just sit flat on the posts. Okay, nice. So yeah, that just gives it a little bit more of an overhang there. We'll flatten out the roof lines here with just 1 meter beams. Yeah, and we'll cut down the spacing, I think, as well, so that you get 1 meter segments in between each of these beams. That just makes it look like we're adding just a little bit more detailing. Then what we'll also do is we'll just throw little wood floor segments in here. Just because that's a pattern we started on some of the other houses, so might as well keep consistent with that. I think it looks kind of nice too, just as a extra detail. Okay, nice. So there is the roof. Let's just start blocking in some walls now. So gotta be mindful of where exactly we want to put windows and things like that. We'll have some windows in the front here. Actually, maybe this section will be blocked off. So it'll be open up there, but we'll block off this one. I need some sort of window here. This is just too much wall if I just completely block it up, so I need to break it up somehow. I think I'll do, yeah, some kind of window. The nice thing about like when you're just kind of improvising and creating more of like a ramshackle look is that it doesn't have to be perfect, right? So you can just kind of fly through this and experiment with stuff and not have to kind of kill yourself for things that aren't quite working. Because obviously, I mean, honestly, if it looks kind of janky, kind of fits the theme a little bit, so. Windows there as well. Yeah, this window's got to be a little bit bigger. Okay, so I think I got most all the walls sealed up here. Let's just add a couple last details, like we'll bring out the window sill a little bit with some wood floors, so I'll just custom place them here. Let's just do that on all windows. And again, this just helps give just a little bit more depth to the side of our structure. 2 words to always think of when you're building: depth and detail. You keep those in mind, you should be all right. Actually, I'm gonna exchange these ones for the wood shutters, just because I think it varies the look a little bit. These are a little bit thinner, maybe more of like a railing look here on this side. Alright, and then we're going to add some shutters here on our windows. Again, just to add a little bit more depth and detail. Okay, so there's that window. Okay, so I think this structure is pretty much complete. Very basic. Again, we'll do a lot of like decorating at the end for like the big reveal, but I do think that this kind of fits into our neighborhood. I like the way it looks. Again, not anything glorious or anything, but I like how it's unique. So that's the thing. When you don't do a very like symmetrical build and it's just kind of random and like improvised, you get some unique looks. So I like how each one of these houses do just look a little bit different, but perfect. So we'll leave that for now, and we'll move on to this structure. So for this one, I do have a little of an idea of what I want to do with this one. Like, I want this one to stand out a little bit more from some of these surrounding houses. Like, maybe this one will go a little bit taller. But as you can see, I also structured out a little, like, kind of like tunnel or overhang. So I want this one to go taller, but I kind of want a roof segment to kind of lean into the tall section. And then there's either just another platform for the building here, or maybe like a balcony or something. So I don't know. Let's figure that out. So we will build this one up a little bit taller. So let's utilize some of the wood iron poles. Just kind of prepare ourselves for that. And let's first of all kind of figure out where this roof is going to lean to, because that'll kind of dictate how tall we go. So I kind of wanted to start a little bit flatter with the 26, then curve up to 45. I think I like that shape. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's try to outline the structure as much as we can. Actually, let's bring it out. Let's bring this out a little bit farther here. Does that work? I think it will. So I want to create like a little bit of an overhang to where the actual base is a little bit smaller than the structure on top of it. And I think that makes some of these taller structures look a little bit interesting, because you won't have such a kind of flat look as you go up. So yeah, we just kick that out, just a single meter or a half, like a half piece. And then actually, you know what? We'll go 2 meters tall for this segment. Yeah, maybe we just continue up like this. Then it just connects like that. Yeah, I think that could work. But yeah, so this is definitely the biggest of the structures here in this neighborhood. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise this whole segment. We're gonna go up half a step here, because I think I want this base level to be 4 meters tall. So I have to adjust that. Let's do that real quick. Okay, so we raised this all up a half step. Then we actually have to adjust our roof too, because I think I do want to keep this as 4 meters on this segment. So a bit of a rework there, but you know, that's just part of the process when you're approaching things from a little bit more of a improvisational standpoint. Okay, so that makes our structure a little bit taller. Yeah, I kind of like that though. Then let's actually bring this out a bit as well. And we'll create some supports underneath. That also, I think, will help this side not look so flat, like we said, because that's just a big face there. Like, this one's already broken up because we're going to have this balcony here. It's not so flat, but had to do something on this side. Okay, I'm just going to real quick go ahead and cover all these beams. Okay. Interesting. So I wonder, can we... Yeah, maybe we'll add a little bit of a lip here on the end with the 26-degree beams. So I do like that. I mean, it's going to basically kind of overlap on this smaller structure here, so I think that will look kind of interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and try to get some of the, yeah, let's go ahead and get the thatch roof pieces in here. Why do I feel like this building needs to just, it needs to be 4 across? Like, I just feel that looks better. Yeah, you know what, let's do that. Put another one across here. I think it just maybe just looks a little too skinny like that. I don't know. Let's go ahead and actually line the beams throughout the roof here. Okay, yes, that roof will overhang there. I think what I also would do is create another layer of roof here. And this will kind of just be like one of those. This is kind of be just like a balcony on this side. Actually, I don't know. That looks super unbalanced. Unless I also created a layer of roof here so that it overhung. Like, that would balance it out. Is that what I want? Maybe tentatively, yes. You know what? Why not? We'll just keep it like that. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but this structure is actually turning out to be much larger than I thought it would, but definitely stands out from the other ones in this little neighborhood, so it kind of be like the accent structure. Alright, so let's get some of this flooring in. Well, we'll have a... This needs to be laid in, because this is going to be like a little balcony area. Maybe this will just be like the main kind of stairwell. Well, okay, you know what? Let's lay in all the floors that we know are gonna be here, and then we can kind of figure out how the stairs will lead up to it. Because we kind of have to have an idea of where exactly the levels are gonna be first. Okay then, so then there's this floor. Do I even do a 3rd floor? That's something we want to explore at all. You know what? Might as well, because we have the space. Yeah, we'll just do some sort of basic pattern with the, you know, the wood cross beams. Okay, sure, we can go with that. Alright, start building in some of our walls. This will more likely be kind of like a balcony on this side. Okay, you know, let's actually make this roof have some openings. Just because it did end up being quite large, so let's alternate it up with some 26-degree roof pieces here. And that'll just, I think, make it look a little bit more layered. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit more interesting than, we'll get rid of those. Well, actually, this actually creates a little opening here. I think that looks a little bit more interesting than just having the flat roof like this, so do that on the other side as well. Okay, yeah. Actually, I like that. Then maybe we add little wood shutters for some railings. Yeah, this actually is nice since we did end up kind of creating an area to go up to this third floor. This actually gives you a nice view from here, so I like that. Let's close up this side a little bit. Again, but I think I want to leave the top level a little bit more open. So I won't close it completely. I'll just use some of the angled wood beams to close it up a little bit. Okay, nice. A little bit unusual composition, but still like it. Still kind of stands out in this dock house neighborhood. Alright, so let's try to fit in the rest of our walls. Actually, I wonder, should we make... Let's sink our doorway in, just like a half step there. I think that actually distinguishes it a little bit better from the rest of the side of the wall that we're going to be creating. Again, just gives it a little more depth there. Yeah, so we'll do some windows right here. And then on the other side as well. And maybe we get rid of the supports right there. We'll put them over here on the side. I don't want them right in the middle of the window like that, kind of dividing it. Okay, nice. And then put in the walls on this side. Actually, you know what? I think I want to move this around a little bit. Like, can I... Maybe I'll put this more in the corner so it doesn't get quite in the way as much. Yeah, actually, I think that'll work. Okay, yeah. We'll go with that. Alright, now the rest of these walls, so... Really just gotta figure out where exactly we want to put on the windows. We'll have windows on all sides of this room, just because it does have a pretty good view of the water. Yeah, nice. So, our walls up here. Need to have lots of windows on these upper floors. Actually, yeah, maybe instead of having the stairs go there, we'll just have them go up on the sides here, because then that makes more sense, just like these little outlet sections here. Let's divide up this section a little bit. So we'll use the wood shutter. Add a little bit of railing there. Okay. Now, I think we got most of our walls in. Let's make sure that all our windows are kind of squared away and decorated just with some similar style with like the pulled-out windowsill with the floor and then some of the shutters. So, just gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so we got our window shutters and kind of windowsills lined a little bit better. I do like that. So one thing I forgot to do when I was doing the roofs is actually work on our trim. So let's just kind of detail those out a little bit more. And then we'll create, again, a little bit more of an overhang here on the ends. Just so, again, adds a little bit more depth to our roof. So. And then, yep, we'll add, again, our wood floors here. Just to remain consistent with that design. And actually looks like I haven't done any of the trim on the main roof either. Okay, nice. I think like that. Actually, I think these pieces, they poke out there, so I think we actually have to exchange these for the corner pieces. Oh, nope, not there. There we go. Are those on there? Nice. Suppose we also should throw maybe these crosses at the top. Like that's kind of a design or something we've done. I don't know if I want all of them here, so let's take that out. Let's switch these out real quick, make sure that it looks like it's kind of supported by log poles. Nice. I do like that though, how we kind of have this like tunnel underneath one of the structures of this house. I think that works. I think that works pretty well. Let's see, do we open this up at all? Maybe. That extra layer add anything to our design? Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't think I mind it. Okay. Yeah. And then this side. So let's add a little more here on the ends of this roof on this balcony. It's kind of dark on this side too, so I might just throw in a hanging brazier, like right here maybe. Alright, there we go. Now we can see a little bit better. Nice. Okay, cool. I like that. Nice. Okay, I think some of the last things we'll do here is... So, I kind of want to pop out the base structure here with some beams. So, I think I'm just going to go around and just kind of custom place a layer of beams like this just to give a little bit more texture, a little more depth and detail to our structure, so it doesn't look so flat. Just brings it out a little bit, and then maybe off of these snapping points just create some more supports here, which should give each face just a little bit more depth. Yeah, I think that just looks a little bit better. Doesn't look quite as flat. Okay, and with that, I think we'll call this structure complete. Got a little bit bigger than I thought it would, and it is a little bit unusual. It was very kind of improvisational, like the rest of this this town and all the rest of these homes. Hopefully you guys like it. I don't know, I'm almost like a little insecure about some of these homes. Like they're definitely not super traditional, and I think what I'm going to do actually is, so something I like to do with some of my dock homes is integrate some of these like log pole kind of like holding walls. I think it just looks kind of nice with some of these dock home themed builds. So let's try to implement some of these elsewhere. Okay, nice, like that. Maybe we'll have some over here. Want to make sure that you vary some of the height as well. Just kind of give that randomness so it looks a little bit more based in that world. Where else? Where else can we put some of these posts? Okay. That'll work for here. Maybe we'll have a little holding wall on the border. This part of the more like tunnel. Okay, yeah, cool. Kind of just like a little organic component. I think it actually looks nice. Okay, so there we have it. So the structure is complete. Again, we'll go ahead and we're gonna decorate all this stuff at the end. I gotta decorate my other builds as well, but this was fun. This was really fun for me. I don't know if this is something you guys really enjoy, because I know these aren't the most like impressive looking things, but they're kind of just improvisational and they're really fun for me just to kind of like build kind of mindlessly and see kind of what structure emerges from it. But with the dock house neighborhood is looking pretty good so far. I really like how layered it all is and kind of intertwines with each other, and we did a good job at making sure that they all have different leveling, and I think that looks really interesting. And just the fact that we can kind of walk under here, it's I think it's gonna be really cozy once we decorate it all. Definitely getting a little bit of the Lake Town vibes from this little section. Actually, that'd be a fun project to take on if we just like really expanded upon that and did like a Lake Town build. Something definitely to write down. But there you have it, guys. The dock homes in our dock neighborhood are complete, at least structurally. Again, we'll decorate these later, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you like, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks.